Welcome to For Your Home. We're going to kick our decorating into high gear today. I'm Vicki Payne.
And I'm Sloan Rudder. We've been sharing with you our real life experiences as we decorate this dream home show house in only 13 days.
We're going to tune up our skills in the music room, and then we're going to serve up some style in the dining room. It's all about baby grands and little black dresses.
We'll have you humming a new tune when it comes to decorating, so stick with us here on FYH.
For Your Home is made possible by
Andersen Hardwood, committed to producing distinctive, environmentally responsible hardwood flooring while helping to create a better planet for today and tomorrow. For more information, go to andersenfloors.com. Andersen, naturally.
and by Ames. Ames True Timber has offered innovative landscape products since 1774, providing non-powered lawn and garden tools, wheelbarrows and lawn carts, watering products and decorative accessories, including planters. And by Riverside Furniture.
Sloan and I love a house with great bones, and this show house has got 'em. Our dining room is large, spacious, and airy. The picture frame moldings transform the plain white walls. Across the foyer is our music room. The walls are paneled and divided into sections with layers of wood moldings. French doors lead to the front porch and add natural daylight to the room. Our challenge will be to keep this room from feeling too closed in and overpowered from all of this wood.
This is our music room. The dark paneled walls and the high vaulted ceilings help to create a dramatic effect and the perfect ambiance for our music room. But the only thing we had to do next was come up with how to tie in our ceiling and our walls, so we called upon our favorite FYH faux finisher, Bob Nolf. Take a look. One of the last elements that we're adding to our music room is our faux finishing. Now, I met with our favorite faux finisher, Bob Nolf, a couple of weeks ago, and Bob shared with me some of our options and choices for this room, and today, I think we're going to make some final decisions in our color and finishes, right, Bob?
We are so close. We've been adjusting the colors, and I think we've got some fun things to look at today.
Okay, well, when you and I first met and we talked about this room, we had a couple hurdles that we wanted to get over, right?
Yes.
Now we've got wood paneling that's in this room on the walls, and of course we've got some great beams on the ceiling, but we're going to be doing this in a really dark finish that matches our floor.
Well, even the floor is finished. When we were in here a couple weeks ago, we didn't have a floor. So now
this is the color of our floor, and this is throughout the
varies.
whole house.
So it's going to be darker and lighter in places.
Right,
it's a natural wood.
We've got some definite colors in here, dark and light. And now for the walls, we've got a nice dark color.
We're using Jacobean.
Okay.
And it's a fairly neutral brown. We've selected a velvet that's going to be
gorgeous,
wonderful with it. It has enough neutral tones in it. It's not real warm.
Beautiful,
that this ought to be a very
So we're trying
nice
to warm it up. Even though we've got the rich, warm walls, we don't want to do any really light colors up on our ceiling, right?
Well, I think one of the problems with doing a very light color on the ceiling is it might tend to lift the ceiling a little bit. And for as narrow as this room can seem, it's almost like it's taller than it is wide.
Right.
And once we get a piano in here, we don't want it to feel like we're in a phone booth or something.
I was just going to say, we don't want it to be like a tubular effect to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we want to bring that down a little bit. We have beams on the ceiling. So we talked about plaster on the ceiling instead of just paint.
Right.
Perhaps some texture up there.
And then of course we do have a little bit of wall space still in this room. And especially on the sides where our ceiling comes down lower, we want to make sure that we don't make that look like a stripe, correct?
Right, we don't want that belt going around the room.
Right.
We know that the curtains, the window treatments, are going to go up above the,
right, we'll
the
bring that
crown
up
molding
there.
here. So we'll break it on this side, but over the piano it'll go right around the room.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about some of the colors. Now, like we said, we went with this great warm palette, and when it came to textures, you've got some different things that we loved here. This effect right here is a plaster, right?
Yes.
It's got a little bit of flavor. And now this is incredible. This is beautiful, but very time consuming, a little pricey, I would have to imagine.
Yes, it's expensive.
But a very elegant look though, it's worth it.
But it's not a huge ceiling. We really could get away with something like that in here.
Okay.
This is the easy approach. This would be just plaster in a color that's going to coordinate.
Right. Now this is nice. Got a nice texture to it, but I like the matte finish on this one.
This is rather more extravagant. This is great for a gentleman's den kind of thing, a smoking room.
Oh, this would be great.
Very African feeling, but also the idea of putting an ostrich skin on the ceiling is just too extravagant.
A little too extravagant, but I do like this. We may need to keep this in mind for another project.
Okay.
Okay, now this one is gorgeous. This is a beautiful sheen to this. And I love the color variation in here. But I'm wondering, with so much variation in the floor and in our walls, is this going to be too much?
That might compete with a rug, because we're talking about putting a rug in here also.
Right.
This is closer, I think, to what we were talking about the other day, getting a textured plaster.
Okay.
But then thinking about having it be a music room. I've been playing with some music, and
See? I love that.
antiqued it back a little
stain.
bit. So use this idea,
Okay.
and then embedded it in the plaster.
I love it. Oh, it's like the hidden sheet music.
We can imagine some starving musician pasting over the cracks in the plaster.
I can.
Trying to keep the cold out, and then somebody later
love it.
plastering over it.
Oh, how great. Okay, now this is the color I think we're going for right here. And still with the music note effect. I definitely love that idea. And you could really have a lot of fun with this. You could get real personal and do a song that maybe was important to you. Like my grandparents, one of their favorite songs is Sentimental Journey. That would be great if this was a project for them.
So the idea of the artist pasting his music on the wall, it reminded me of La Boheme.
See?
But I couldn't find La Boheme sheet music, so this is a little bit of Debussy.
Well, luckily for us, no one's going to be able to tell because we're just giving them a sneak peek. Bob, I think this is going to be awesome, so I say we go for this for the ceiling. We know our window treatments in our floor, and then for the wall, I think just a simple plaster. What do you think?
I think just repeat this without the gaps in it.
Okay.
But do a simple plaster with a nice color wash over it.
Great.
And that way we're matching the draperies rather than matching the wood trim.
Awesome. You and I have made our decisions. We'll get all your materials ordered, and then you can get to work. But first, they've got to stain these walls, so we better get out of their way and let them
And the
finish
poly
up.
too.
Perfect.
Isn't this room absolutely beautiful? I think this is one of our favorite places in the house.
Definitely. I think that it's functional, but it also is a wonderful statement room as well.
We had so much fun creating this space, and I know that we usually don't show you a finished room till the end of the show, but we have been doing so much fast-paced decorating at this house that last night we had to stay late and get a lot of things done because we only have 13 days to decorate this entire house, and we're now on day 9.
So let's break it down. We'll start at the very beginning of how we got to this point, and that was to find our inspiration. And once we saw all of these beautiful little black dress paintings, it wasn't hard. That became our inspiration. We selected 8 custom pieces. They're gorgeous. Now, although they served as our inspiration, Mom's going to tell you they were almost our demise.
You know, one of the great things about this dining room is this beautiful molding that you see everywhere. And this is something that you can do at your home. It is not that expensive to do, and it really adds a lot of classic punch. Now, this is simply wood molding. It's applied right to drywall, but it makes the room look like it's an all wood paneled space. This is a good dollar and cents investment for any homeowner because it really adds a lot of value to a room. But it does take a very experienced carpenter, one with a lot of patience and some good math skills, because the secret is you've got to make all of these look like they're exactly the same size, spaced perfectly even all the way around the room, so they all have that visual look of exactly the same size.
But they're not the same size. Our gallery owner was kind enough to custom frame each piece in here for us, and because we had that happening for us, we were able to trick your eye a little bit. The paintings are all exactly the same size, so where we made up the difference between the painting and the picture frame molding was in the size of the mat. Although if you look around this room, it's pretty hard to see where they're not the same size. That's how good of a job she did for us. Now, when it came to hanging the pieces, that was pretty easy. It was really easy to find our center here, but because our ceilings are so tall in this room, if we would have hung the picture in the center of our picture frame molding, the paintings would have been too high all the way around the room. In fact, trust me, that's why we did this last night and not for you today, so you're not stuck watching us do that. It took us a little while, but we finally decided on 5.5 inches. And that was really our rule of thumb that we followed all the way around the room. But we still had to measure every single one because on the back of these pictures, there's picture frame wire, and that's not the same length on every single picture.
There's a lot of dark furniture in this room, but we've balanced that by painting the walls a nice light color. Now the walls may look like they're the same color as the trim, but they're not. They're two different shades of white. The wall has a little bit more beige in it, so it warms up the space. We've also used two different textures of paint. One is a flat finish and the other is a semi-gloss. We've used semi-gloss on all of the molding as well as the bottom half of the room. It's easier to clean and it gives it more of a wood finish on the walls. We've also balanced it off with these great white linen curtains. You know, I love linen in any shape and form, but I want to be honest with you. If you're going to choose linen drapes, then you better get out your ironing board and your steam iron, because for them to look this fabulous, you have to really iron these and iron them well. Once they're hung though, all the work's done and you can enjoy them for years, so they're certainly worth all that extra effort. Now we also lightened up this space with this light-hearted Oriental rug that we selected for the room. It's real traditional. Whenever you say Oriental, you think traditional, but this one has a real contemporary kick to it.
We wanted to continue that same light feel with our light fixtures as well. Take a look at the lighting that we selected. Love this grand chandelier, and although it's grand in its size, you can tell by the openness, it still has that light, airy feeling that we like. We selected 2 wall sconces for our dining room as well. Same collection, it's got the gold finish and also the beading. Now you may notice that Mom and I left the shades off of our sconces and our chandelier. That's just really a personal thing, to shade or not to shade. But for this room, because we wanted it to have a contemporary feel, that's how you create a more contemporary look, is by not adding the traditional shades to it. We selected 2 serving pieces for this dining room, and this is the largest piece. Look at this beautiful walnut piece. Isn't this gorgeous? The size of this is incredible. You know, this is really the big new trend. We're getting away from the matchy-matchy dining room sets and doing individual pieces. This particular piece, like I said, massive, large size, and you'll notice how tall it is too. This is great, especially in a dining room with ceilings this high. There's lots of wonderful storage in this piece as well, so that's always nice to store all of your linens and dishes, things like that. And a piece like this has nice deep drawers and also has our tarnish liners in here. This is perfect for storing your silverware. Really nice and handy. Now for our other serving piece in this room, we selected a smaller piece that I'll tell you, if you're going to add a piece to your dining room, it's a great piece that you can add. Anybody can add this because it's not huge in size. It's a nice intimate server. It has 3 shelves, and you'll notice the openness of this piece, the nice curve of the legs. This is really a functional piece because you can use this for display and you can also use it for serving. Think of setting maybe your dessert bar on this, or maybe perhaps setting up your drink bar on this as well. So this is really a handy piece. Maybe this is something that you want to add to your dining room before your next holiday event.
The mark of a great design is not knowing exactly what was done in that room, just knowing that you love the way it looks. Well, let me share some of Sloan's and my secrets in this room with you. We have a dark walnut table and we have a dark credenza. We chose 3 brown side chairs so that your eye would just simply float across this space. If we would have put 3 white chairs there, it would have broken up the horizontal plane and made the room look choppy and smaller. So that's one trick. The other thing we did is we added to this room these great cream-colored contemporary wing chairs at the end. We added these in a different color so it would anchor the end of our tables and make it feel more cozy. Because after all, isn't that the reason you go to your favorite restaurant or you have a friend's home you love to dine at? Because it's cozy and intimate feeling? Well, these contemporary wing chairs, what makes them that new look is starting right here. See how these wings are flared out? They're not cupped in like the old style of wing chair. And if you notice, the arms are much more narrow. We have added antique brass nail heads all the way around to add detail to it. Now the side chairs, I know you're saying I've got kids and those are suede chairs. They're not suede chairs, they're microfiber chairs. It looks like suede, but it doesn't soil easy, it resists dirt, and they clean up just great. We've also added to the chairs these great nail heads all the way around them. That ties all of our 8 chairs together. So another little detail we added. The brass chandelier is exactly the same tone as our antique mirror frame and our curtain rod that we have up at the top, tying together the height, the middle, and the back of this whole room. Those are some of our designer secrets that we use to lay out this space. As soon as the music room was ready, Bob got busy creating his special magic. Sloan was eager to lend a hand and to learn from the master. It took hundreds of tea-stained music sheets to create this symphony of style. Bob worked through the night and some long days to finish this project on schedule. What would we ever do without him?
I just love the finished product, don't you? Now all we have to do is top this room off with some artwork, our drapes, and a great rug.
Now we chose gold velvet drapes for this room. The rest of the house we're using white linen and ivory linen, but this is a much more formal space and the velvet is a heavier fabric. It'll kind of help set the stage for our great piano.
This is the rug that we bought for the room, and it's this beautiful oriental. It's got great rich colors. The black is going to tie in wonderfully with our piano, and then of course the gold is going to match our drapes and Bob's work perfectly. Now, this is also going to serve as another purpose in this room, and that's going to be to help dampen the liveliness of this room and make that piano sound even better in here.
We're just getting this room put together in time because the truck with the piano just pulled up front. It's right in here, in this room right here, Lenny. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go ahead and put this all together. I'm going to go check on another project and come back, and then you're going to play it for me, right, Lenny?
I don't play. I do the easy work. This is it.
I love the stitching in this chair. It looks so great, don't you think?
I do. I love
Let's
the
try
colors.
this corner over here first, okay?
Okay, well, we only have 2 corners to choose from. So, process of
One of the other,
elimination,
okay.
what do you think about this one? This is kind of nice because then it's like a little
You
concert
can talk
area.
to somebody, because if we put it in the other corner,
Their back is to the player.
them. So and you can see out the window this way. I think we'll just try it there. What do you
Okay,
think?
sounds good to me.
Okay, let me get the lamp we want to go in here. Sloan, look at this terrific lamp that I found for in here. It's got this great gold finish that'll match the faux finish on the walls.
I was just going to say, it looks almost distressed. It kind of mimics our walls.
And the shade is brown, which picks up the little stitching in the chair there.
And, of course, matches our stained walls.
I think we should put it in the opposite corner, don't you?
Yeah, too much on this side of the room if we don't.
It'll look too heavy. And it'll go right here. We might have to put some of those little felt
Stoppers
pads underneath it.
Okay.
So that it
Raise it
won't
up.
be wobbling. Okay, I think that'll work. You want to grab that artwork we picked out for there?
Now this piece I absolutely love, and I think I love that you can hang this horizontal or vertical. That's always my favorite.
Yeah, I was thinking that we could hang that one behind the piano so it kind of mimics it. The keyboards just kind of come up on the wall.
I was going to say, now which way do you think? Do you think we should do it horizontal?
Oh yeah, because the room is too tall. If we take that
Start doing
vertical,
that.
it'll make the room look like a tunnel or like a,
Okay,
silo.
I'll set this one out of our way over here.
All right, now then this one, this is an original piece. That, of course, that's original antique French poster, but this one,
I love this one.
isn't this pretty? This is kind of a contemporary piece. I think it's called Trombones, which I thought there might be a trombone in here, but there's not. But But if we put that on this wall,
Great.
I think that would be a great
And liven that
splash.
wall up too.
And this also has the orange and gold like the rug and like our other poster.
And I love the hint of red, mimicks the hint of red on the piano. Perfect.
All right, so if I get the hammer and you get the tape measure, we'll get these up. And before you know it, this room's going to be done. Coming up next, a classic FYH decorating tip. Have you visited your local nursery lately and really admired those container gardens but thought you could never create it yourself, so you went ahead and spent all the money to buy one they had made? Well, I want to share some tips with you about how you can create those great designer container gardens. Take a look at this collection. What makes this really spectacular is because there are plants that grow up as well as plants that grow down. And what do I mean by that? Well, some plants just naturally grow upright. Others are designed as trailing plants. Let's take a look at some I have here on the table. Now, you want to select a plant that will keep its growth pattern going all season long. And so, for example, in this nice low shallow dish, this is a spike, and this is one of my favorites for container gardens. It would pop right in the middle, and see how it brings your eye right up? But you wouldn't want another upright growing plant in here. Like, for example, this geranium, if you put this in here, it's going to compete with this spike, and it's really not going to be a nice look for the whole summer. Instead, you might want to get a pop of color in here with one of these great New Guinea impatiens. Now, it has large flowers on them. You can get them in a whole variety of colors. They even come in like a salmon orange and a yellow that's spectacular. But these are mounding plants. It's not going to get much higher than it is here, and it's going to keep its nice shape. But you don't want to just stop with a few going up and a few staying here. You want to make sure you get a few that trail over the side. But how far they trail, now that's another consideration you want to make. For example, this one right here, I love this. This is a Bacopoda, and it has a little white flower on it. It looks like a little strawberry bloom, and it will trail over the side, but it's not going to trail too far. It'll probably get just about down to the table height, and that's what we want. Don't ever put a vine like a vinca vine or something like that in a pot like this shallow, because it'll just grow out and cover the table, and you'll always have to be pruning it back. So this would be a good choice to tuck right in the front of that. Now, how about some others that will trail a little bit in a shallow dish like this? How about a petunia? I bet you never thought about those, but petunias actually do trail over the side of containers just enough. They're not going to hit the floor. If they get too lanky on you midsummer, just pinch them back to about half their size. Now, as you go through the garden center and look for plants, look at some of them that are really spectacular with loaded colors. Look at this fuchsia. Keep this baby in the shade though. It doesn't like a lot of sun. It needs some water, and you know what? I just might plant this all by itself in a container. The plain walls of our music room were transformed with stain, artwork, and of course Bob's wonderful custom faux finish. The music sheets and soft warm plaster finish were the perfect choice for this space. The high gloss finish on the baby grand piano bounces light throughout the room. All we need now is someone to tickle the ivory keys. Too bad this guy's not available. The artwork is fun and whimsical and keeps this room from being too formal. The plush rug adds warmth, pattern, color, and helps with the room's acoustics. Our dining room is contemporary, casual, and inviting. Lovely lighting and delightful artwork that can inspire conversations are the perfect backdrops to any great dining room. The rooms also have to be functional. We selected furniture that can do double duty, provide serving space for parties, and lots of storage. Rich wood finishes, lush-looking fabrics, and the delicate palette of the rug might look high maintenance, but they're all really durable and easy to maintain. So this room will always be ready for the next dinner party.
Mom, do you ever wish that you would have stuck with your piano lessons?
No, but I sure wish you would have stuck with your piano lessons, because then you could be in there playing that beautiful baby grand piano. I could be sitting in my favorite chair drinking a great glass of wine listening to you play music.
Nice try, but it's on to another room here at the Susan G. Komen Dream House. Next time on For Your Home, we've got some great guests lined up. We're going to meet with one of today's most talented designers.
We're going to be decorating the grand foyer and the family room at the same time. So we hope you'll make it a date to watch Sloan and I again on the For Your Home show.
If you would like additional information about today's guests or project ideas, please visit us on the web at foryourhome.com. We will do our best to help you out. For Your Home is made possible by
Shaw Floors offers distinctive flooring options to fit a variety of decors. Shaw strives to have a positive impact on the environment by producing recyclable products like Anso nylon carpets and Epic hardwoods. Shaw, where great floors begin.
and by Ames. Ames True Timber has offered innovative landscape products since 1774, providing non-powered lawn and garden tools, wheelbarrows and lawn carts, watering products and decorative accessories, including planters. And by Riverside Furniture.